from group to group. So this first one's going to be a TvP in the top left side of the map. We've actually seen him for a long time here on the channel. It's the purple Terran player InZaNe.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it's States.
Okay, so there's a lot of really nice things to say about State. He's been streaming and whatever. I really don't care about any of that stuff. The thing I'm most interested in, though, is like the fact that MC basically took him under his wing. It's been helping him get better at the game. Like, it sounds so stupid, right? But like, it's so hard to find somebody who'd be willing to coach you like that. And MC is a great player to have coach you.
Yeah, even if he's not up to date. Well, that's the best way to put this. Even if he's not the top of his pro gaming career, MC that is,
MC
he still
looking
looks
good.
like. Yeah, he still looks good, and even if you weren't like necessarily all about Legacy of the Void, like even as just a professional gamer who's won as much as he has, you always have a lot to tell.
Yesterday in the Cybet Race Wars, MC went undefeated against both Alive and Hyun. So he's still got it. Or at least he's still Protoss.
However, State, unfortunately, has been like a chronic case of just... People expect a lot from him. And
I know, foreigner living in Korea for how long now? Like...
Well, first, yeah, he was the foreigner hope, and then he moved to Korea, so everyone assumed like that he was going to become a god, and then he stopped streaming. You know, was he in StarCraft 2 at all? And now he's back in full swing, sure, and his stream's kind of, you know, it's pretty educational and pretty interesting, but it's like, this guy is like, yes, he's good, and he can be great, but he is not, like, consistently going to beat Koreans, which doesn't matter in this tournament. But... it really is like, you know, it's not 100% faith here that State's absolutely going to win this. I mean, he has the advantage of being a very good player, and he probably has the advantage of being Protoss. Like, regardless of your actual balance concerns, Terrans in general start this game off, this matchup off, a little tilted. Like, just automatically, like, oh, what's he gonna do this time? Like, what Protoss BS?
At a point, you're like, okay, there's balance whining, there's casters being annoying, but when you've got, like, the entirety of Korea and the best Terrans in Korea complaining about it, you're like, okay, this results from, like, 2 of them, but everyone else...
It'll affect your mindset is the point, and that's, you know, State certainly has a lot of, you know, things in his favor here, but I just, InZaNe's also been looking pretty good, certainly up and coming.
He is, without question, one of the best players coming out of Germany. Him and Showtime, for sure.
Yeah, and, you know, it really helps, too, that he's a Terran, at least in our minds, for sure, because, you know, that Terran bias, her, but also just, like, foreigner Terrans usually in demand.
This was not expected at all. I think he was really focused on the Adept on that front line. So the Mothership Core gets in here. It's going to get a couple of kills. Didn't have to run away, though, because more than enough Marines to deal with it.
Yes, but, you know, killing Marines is also very helpful because he's following up with the Stargate. So an Oracle pops out, and there's only 4 Marines instead of the 6. Well, then those Marines actually die. There's 2 Marines at the front, 2 Marines in the main base. You can even ignore them and just kill all the SCVs you want. So that was definitely worthwhile. And it's lucky that InZaNe is going for the Cyclone, but it's not going to quite be ready for the Oracle.
Yeah, Cyclone intended to be that sort of generic defense unit. It's more of anti-warp prism, really, than anything else. But again, even the Adepts is trading out here. Like, State just needs to make sure there's not 6 Marines in play, and that Oracle is going to have a field day.
Oh, jeez. The Militia Corps even went back in to kill more SCVs. This is... I mean, we just talked about how InZaNe's been looking good. State is, you know, sometimes great, but not always, like, the greatest. But this is some really good play. Even if he loses the Militia Corps, I think that might still be worth it.
The Oracle comes in, and unfortunately, it burns its energy to kill 1 SCV or the natural. But the Time Warp was going to be pretty cool if it was a matter of, like, actually shuffling the Marines around. But regardless, State puts them on 1 base, and damn it, time for some John Cena. Mr. Boris Makarov.
I'm looking for a new headset to wear while at the computer. Might you have any recommendations, like a sponsor that makes headphones?
Mr. Boris Makarov, I would recommend the Corsair, obviously.
Unfortunately, I get the John Cena sound effect in the text, but I don't get the voice.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm just waiting for you to, like, start talking when that happens.
Awkward. Oh, this foot on overcharge almost gets that medevac. Would have been full of Marines. One more shot would have absolutely dominated this. Unfortunately, State is a little bit out of juice right now, so he's got to hang back for 4 more energy.
Did want to note that, you know, okay, well, there's the Mothership Core. This actually ended up being a nice drop.
Second one dies.
Looked to be like it was going to get killed. But the Fleet Beacon was scouted, as well as the research on the Cybernetics Core, if he was really paying attention. So Tempests, and that's, I mean, even if you scout it, like what do you really change as the Terran? You know, like you can try and start your Viking production, but then you have no medevacs, so then your Marines feel a little bit more useless. You can just try and do what you normally do, but on a map, especially like Arena, where it's close by air, you're always going to be besieged by those Tempests, and it's just, it's it looks like a trolley build, you know, like the Roddy build and all that, but it can actually be very effective and dangerous.
Well, defending the front lines can certainly focus down the Cyclone. Photon Overcharge goes off. Tempest pops out. I actually don't know that InZane's gonna. So this is weird, right? Because you mentioned the hashtag Roddy build, and the advantage to that is that hits before there's any production. There is actually production for InZane. Range is still going to be in the favor of the Tempest, but if there's about 8 Vikings in play and a handful of Marines, the Tempest won't be able to actually push too close. There'll be a little spot down here I can imagine them abusing for the mineral lines, but honestly, outside of that, not too much.
Nice.
Revelation, very important to hit. Of course, that'll give the Tempest that vision for the range.
So this is the problem though, is that sure, Zane might be able to produce enough to get enough Vikings for the Tempests, but he already fell behind economically with his, like, these openers.
Oh, the supply block's devastating.
Apparently supply blocked as well. And even if he takes up the Tempest, you still have to deal with State's 3-base economy soon, and the Adepts, and once again, you don't have medevacs. In fact, he doesn't have any upgrades for his bio, so the Tempests are actually like going to be the least of his concern in a couple of minutes, and they're already a concern, so he just has concerns all over the place.
Yeah, this is a really cool build coming out of State. This is something I imagine he's kept in his back pocket for a while, hoping to show at DreamHack, and opening him in his group with it. I mean, I'm looking at this like, what can InZaNe do? I thought production would cover it, but the thing was he sent the Vikings in too soon. He didn't get up to that bulk of about 8+ of them, and unfortunately, 4-6 Vikings, they're going to get one shot by each of the volley from these Tempests.
This was a 1-2 punch that actually worked, you know? Like, if that Oracle does no damage or the Adepts get held off by a bunker, the Tempests aren't nearly as hard to deal with. But this has been a very nice, like, game flow for State. It's worked out pretty much perfectly, I would imagine. He's rating his build right now.
The way he's prioritizing attacking, I think, is really cool, too. He's very intentionally looking to supply block his opponent, but then go for real kills. Like, he could snipe off so many SCVs here, but he's been focusing on the supply depot that got dropped because he knew that we have so hardcore supply blocks InZaNe. And if he kills too many Marines, it opens up the doorways for more Vikings, and just the precision from this has been great, the way he opened it. Now the Viking count's kind of high, but it's too late. There's already a ton of freaking Tempests in play.
Yeah, and a Mothership Core. That's cool. So apparently he does this often on this map specifically. And that was my next question. Like, is this only map specific? Imagine if Purified Forge was in here, then I guess it'd be 2 maps you could do it on.
Oh, man. That would be hilarious.
It does make sense to do it on this map. And I catch State stream like every once in a while, but yeah, I'm not really super paying attention to what he does on every single map. It's more like background noise.
When I sleep, man.
That too, yeah. But Chatland informing us, so this is it's frustrating for sure because it does look like, you know, what does beat this. Just perfect defense at the beginning is only so helpful because it's still, I gotta imagine, obnoxious afterwards. But that's going to be
map number 1 gonna go to State in a really convincing fashion as well. So good job and congratulations to him. Good start in the series. One of the things you know.